Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is July 25th, 2021. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, so real quick overview, SPX, short-term extended. The worry is that the equal weight SPX RSP has not broken out yet. So the mega caps are pushing the index higher. And speaking of mega caps, Apple's got earnings this week. Amazon's got earnings this week. Google, guess what? Earnings this week. Facebook, earnings this week. Microsoft, earnings this week. And yet all of them are kind of extended, like the SPX. So we'll see if this was an earnings run up and then, basically buy the rumor, sell the news type of situation, or if the indexes and stocks below them move higher. Again, I think the breadth issue needs to resolve itself. It still hasn't fully, in my opinion, but we do need to follow the leaders. And I hopefully have 22 potential setups and leaders for you today with two short squeeze ideas. First one is going to be CrowdStrike, CRWD. So this one had this nice base. It broke out, retested. Now it's trying to move higher. Again, nice accumulation on this right side of the base. Right side of the base, way more important than left side of the base. Again, this looks amazing. These pullbacks have been on much lower volume, and the accumulation again is obvious. CrowdStrike, CRWD. Next up, GLBE, Global E Online, something or another. IPO back here in May, basically went straight up. Now consolidation. This is a height tight flag candidate right here, trying to move higher. I would love to see a little pullback to get a better entry here, but very, very strong stock, GLBE. ASAN, Asana, also a height tight flag candidate. This one broke out over here, moved higher. You got this little consolidation, trying to move higher. Again, wouldn't mind if it chopped around a little bit here or let these moving averages catch up, and that'd be an amazing entry point. That's ASAN. NTLA. So it gapped up, it moved higher, and now it's in a range. Again, kind of a low volume pullback, holding its gap. Moving averages are catching up. That's exactly what you want to see, right? This downtrend line may be a place for an early entry, or if this can hold 131, 132 area, that would be a really interesting setup here for NTLA. Again, very nice. Let's pull back on here. Probably deep. Yeah, that's too deep. But so a nice looking setup. Next up, Tandem, TNDM. So this one, it was, here's a cup and handle back here. I've been watching this one for a while. It kind of moved higher, broke out, came back. Now it's creating a new base, trying to break out again. I wouldn't be surprised if this can get back up to, all-time highs. It's 20% move, right? That's nothing to sneeze at. That's a nice looking, then you can say, okay, maybe we'll play this for a bigger base and breakout and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. But I do like this here, and I do think that it could come back and challenge these all-time highs up here. That's TNDM. SRC, it's a REIT. Making the right side of a base, looks pretty good, trying to get back to all-time highs. So not bad. Again, it's in a new uptrend, so it's SRC. VLRS, that is a Mexican airline, I believe. Maybe it's Colombian, South American, Central American airline. Anyway, nice uptrend, kind of sideways consolidation, nice accumulation recently, earnings out of the way. All that's a huge positive. Starting to consolidate now. Its move, right? This earnings move was a little bit of a sell-off right there. So just be careful with that. But we'll see how this moves sideways, right? And then if it can come back up, it may be a buy. Net's been a leader, so there's your breakout right back here, kind of led the market higher in a lot of ways. Almost no give back, came back to the moving averages right there, and now it's moving higher. Extended again, right? This is extended again, but again, it's a leader. So any pullback, maybe to 110-ish, that could be a potential buy right there, right? Let these moving averages just catch up just a little bit. Again, that would be net. ELAN or Elanco, which is a pet meds company. And when we look at this one longer term, it IPO'd, what was that, 2018. And now what's happening is price is now moving to all-time highs. Like, that's a beautiful base from the IPO. It took 3 years, and now we're breaking out to all-time highs. Excellent place to manage risk against. Love it all. Nice accumulation going on here. Some earnings coming up. That's not, not around the corner, but it's August 9th. So know your earnings dates, by the way. Elanco, ELAN, another pet company, CHWY, looking pretty good. Again, it was one of the big winners from 2020. It's pulled back. It's trying to make some new deep cup type base, inverse head and shoulders, something or another. But the level I'm watching is 87, right? So again, a little bit extended from all of its moving averages. I love how the VWAP held here, the new VWAP handoff held here, then I put a new VWAP right in here. And so it's a place to potentially manage risk against. Again, kind of short term. This was a big week for it, right? The last 5 days. So, it went from 75-ish to 87. It's a big week. So maybe it needs to consolidate some more. It may not be the perfect entry spot, but if it holds these moving averages, that could be nice. That's CHWY. DoorDash, DASH. Again, recent IPO, kind of just chopping around, kind of a double bottom right in here that it kind of made. I could probably pop this down just a little bit like there. And now it's starting to move higher. So what I love about this particular chart is that there is no give back in the chart as far as volume goes. So that means that people are accumulating shares. People with deep pockets are accumulating shares, and they're accumulating a lot of shares. Right? Look at all this accumulation going on in this name. Even as it was pulling back, there's no selling going on. Not much selling going on. No selling going on. So that looks really good. Dash. Peloton's back on the list. This was, again, another big winner during the COVID stuff. And now it is creating some new base and trying to break out higher. Looks good if it gets above, 126-ish. Peloton could potentially move back to all-time highs again. PTON. Next up, SQSP. That's Squarespace. SQSP. New IPO. Kind of came out of the gate hot. Pulled back right to where? Yep, the IPO VWAP. And now it's moving higher. So that's a nice spot. We have this bullish crossover that's about to happen here. That all looks good. It could be a choppy name, who knows, maybe a little bit extended here. So it's a new name, Squarespace, SQSP. Just be aware of this one. Twitter. So Twitter had earnings and they were supposedly really good, but I don't love this candle. Now, it's at a great spot, right? But maybe it got a little ahead of itself. Maybe it needs to come back, let these moving averages catch up, and then break out. That candle right there says that there could be maybe some downside follow through, but that could be an opportunity depending on how far down it goes. If it makes a higher low, maybe it pulls down to 67, or the 23-day, that could be the viable entry and then the breakout. So I wouldn't go out and buy this on Monday, but I do think that this can be a viable position above 72 if it gets there eventually. SI, Silvergate Capital. Again, another stock that has been really hot in the past. It went from $13 to $188. It's a pretty amazing move. I didn't get any of that, but I'm now watching for this next move, right? Maybe this is stage one. Maybe this is some kind of, I shouldn't say stage one. Maybe this is the first move. This could be a two, and a third leg of this move could be potentially starting. I don't know. I do like this position where it's at. I like that. If you see on this side of the base that it's trying to make, no selling. no selling, no selling. This side, yeah, there's been a lot of distribution in here, but now these guys have all sold and the sellers are tired. And that's what this tells me right down here. Sellers are tired, and it looks like there's a good chance, I think, that the buyers will set back in here. We'll see. That's SI. MYGN. Here's MYGN. Again, just a nice big uptrend and a sideways move. Now, here's the only issue with the sideways move. It's been since February. And so the longer this kind of goes in tight range, the less I love the name, right? Like if it would have broke out here, that's one thing, but it's still going. It's having a hard time, whatever. Not doing anything wrong yet, right? So, but I would definitely manage the risk on this one if this one you like. Now, I do like this higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? That's like a VCP type pattern, and that's really, really nice to see as it's trying to break out again. Higher highs and higher lows is the definition of an uptrend. So just manage risk on this one if you like this name. That's MYGN. Next up is MGI. MGI, you had this big up and kind of loop-de-loop. Now it's making a cup or ladle and handle, right? This handle's getting kind of long in the tooth a little bit, but it's trying. And so we'll see what happens with this one. This is MoneyGram International, MGI. But yeah, if it, again, it's extended, right? It has a couple big moves. There's an 11% move on volume, so that's nice to see. And so as this moves higher, above $12, I like it a lot more. That's MGI. UPWK, Upwork. Here's your cup. That's kind of your handle. Trying to move higher. Earnings coming up. Pretty straightforward looking chart as far as this goes. I really like the way this looks. Here's your shakeout right there. That was a pretty nasty shakeout, down 17%. But then the buyers showed back up. Not crazy volume, but decent volume. So we'll see what happens. Again, this one probably has to prove itself above 60, but it's Upwork. UPWK, ESTC, Elastic Corporation. Yeah, so again, looks a lot like many charts. Pulled back, double bottom-ish, came back, retested, now trying to move higher. Overall, doing nothing wrong. Testing all-time highs is a very likely scenario for maybe a bigger cup move. We'll see. But it's Elastic, ESTC, FVRR, Fiverr International. Same idea, right? Kind of had the big move up, came back, creating this base. This one's more of an inverse head and shoulders. We're seeing a lot of double bottoms or inverse head and shoulder type bases with these pullbacks, trying to break back out. Again, earnings, within the next 2 weeks. So just be careful. But if Fiverr gets above 250, that could be a nice long FVRR. Next up is AXNX. Again, nice cup and handle on this volume right here. You can see there's been no give back, right? I mean, here's your handle and it's decreasing volume. That's textbook. I mean, as far as that goes, this is a textbook cup and handle from April to June. I mean, everything is just lining up perfectly, starting to break out on some volume. Love that. Earnings coming up. Everything looks good. AXNX. Last one in this group is Sprout Social. Again, it was a pretty hot one last year, all the way to the beginning of this year. And then it has this cup, high handle, trying to move higher. Sprout Social, SPT. My two short squeezes are Thread Up, TDUP. So this one is a very loose name. Again, these tend to be looser names. So again, position size accordingly, but it's making some kind of ladle or cup and handle from the IPO. So far, so good. We'll see what happens. Let me see what happens. I put so this VWAP right here, I think is the important one probably to hold. $26 holds. I think, you could go up to this 31-ish area and then, break out above there. And that's another place to manage risk against. And of course, Arch is in here. Earnings though this week, but I like this one a lot. Again, a little bit looser of a name, but this one broke out and is just really kind of consolidating in this range. Okay. Again, earnings are this week. Know your dates. Mega caps are going this week. That's really important. They're going to move markets. My top 5 from this week, I'm trying to kind of focus on what my favorites are. I think SI looks really, really good as far as a potential move higher. AXNX, that looks really nice. Potential move higher. GLBE, potential high tight flag candidate, looking really strong. ASAN, another potential high tight flag candidate, looks really, really strong. And ELAN, Elanco. It's hard to argue with moving to all-time highs above your IPO, right? That's a pretty good looking chart. Again, some of these are like this one, very extended, right? It's let's see, is it 4 or 5%? Let's find out. From the 23 day, it's about 4% from the 23 day. So it probably needs to consolidate a little bit. So watch them, find a good entry, right, and make the trade your own. Hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate it. It does help me, keeps me producing these videos. Find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I post my scans every night. I post videos. I talk to people, whatever. So check that out again on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. If I miss something, go ahead and leave me a comment below. We'd love to see what you're looking at. Hope you all have a great week. Stay safe out there. Know your earnings dates.